I was scrolling on Pinterest this morning and I saw this makeup look and my jaw dropped. I knew I had to recreate it, but there's definitely like very specific techniques you have to follow in order to get this effect. The glowy skin, the very light and effortless looking base without looking too heavy, the glittery eyes even. I literally discovered the perfect product for this. It's really easy to go overboard with looks like this, and so I'm gonna walk you through every single step of the way to make sure you get this effect. So if you're interested, keep on watching. The skin in this makeup look is so gorgeous. It's glowy, it's dewy, but it doesn't look too heavy. So we're gonna work in very thin layers to achieve that glow from within. Starting off with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, I'm using the shade Fair. I'm applying a very small amount of this on my face to give me a little bit of glow and a little bit of warmth as well. This product wears really nicely under makeup and it never looks heavy, which is key for this look. We really do not want the skin looking heavy. So throughout this video, you'll definitely see me giving you tips for how to make your skin look flawless without applying a ton of makeup. So my skin's not great right now. I recently went to New York, so I had some flights back and forth, and my skin always breaks out and gets a little bit mad at me after I take flights. So I'm gonna kind of show you how I even my skin. You can already see that my skin is a little bit evened out. We've got a little bit of glow, a little bit of warmth to the face. But yeah, let's move on to the next step, which is tinted moisturizer. This tinted moisturizer has very quickly become my obsession. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Gel Tint in the shade 2. And I'm applying that using the same brush I used in the last step. It's an Hourglass foundation brush. If you want to know the specific products I used in this video and where to get them, I have it all listed down below for you. But as you can see, this tinted moisturizer is so lightweight, it blends so easily, and it doesn't look heavy on the skin at all, but it gives my skin that perfected look that I love. I love the amount of glow it has. It's not too much, it's not too little, and it lasts a really long time throughout the day. This one is definitely worth trying out if you are a tinted moisturizer girl like me. Now that our skin is for the most part evened out, now we're gonna go in with concealer. I really like to make sure I have a good base going before I go in with concealer, because then I tend to not overdo the concealer. I only apply it in the places where I need to, which is a really great tip if your makeup ends up looking heavy a lot of the time. I'm also going in with a lightweight concealer. I'm using the Tower 28 Serum Concealer, and I'm really applying that pretty sparingly. You can always add more later if you want to, but once you apply too much concealer, it's actually really difficult to go back and make the skin look natural. So as you can see, I only applied it in areas that needed a little bit of attention, and I'm just blending that out with a concealer brush. The shade I'm wearing is the shade BU, and I picked this concealer because it's very, very lightweight and natural looking. This is probably one of the most natural looking concealers, but it still perfects the skin and makes the skin look really perfected. The consistency is really nice too. It's nice and thin. Sometimes when you use a concealer that's a bit thicker, it's more likely to settle into your fine lines and stuff, making it obvious that you're wearing makeup. Okay, so I'm really happy with the way the skin is looking so far. Looks perfected, but in person and up close, you don't get that makeup-y look with this combo. The only thing is I'm feeling a little washed out, feeling a little one-dimensional, so I'm gonna go in with some bronzer now. I'm going in with the Say Sun Melts Cream Bronzer. I love this one because it just melts into the skin and looks so natural. I noticed in the photos this girl's makeup looked really warm, so I wanted to go a little heavier on the bronzer, but I wanted a formula that's not going to sit on top of my skin. This one is just so buttery. It looks so natural on the skin, and it's super easy to blend, so it takes like no time to apply. I love this one so much. I'm just blending this out with a Makeup by Mario F4 brush, and I really do like this one for bronzer. And I really just use the bronzer to define my facial structure, so like my cheekbones and a little bit around my forehead to give me that sun-kissed look. I noticed for blush, she's wearing it a little bit lower on her cheeks, still in a lifted sort of technique, but the color is very muted, almost like a pinky berry color, and I have the perfect shade for that. This is the Rhode Pocket Blush in the shade Sleepy Girl. And this is the prettiest like berry mauve blush, and again, it just melts right into the skin for that same effect that these photos have. It doesn't sit on top of the skin. We really want to avoid heavy products. You can even just dab these in with your finger and they literally just melt into the skin. This is one of my favorite blush launches of the last little bit. If you haven't tried this formula, in my opinion, it's something super special. I'm going to leave the skin as is and not go in with any powder just yet. I want to kind of let the makeup marinate a little bit and then only add powder where I need it, because this look is very glowy. It's not very matte, so I think we'll end up needing very little powder. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to eyes. I'm going in with my Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Stick color in the shade Caramel. I'm going to use this to add that dimension we see in this eye look. I'm almost applying this in a halo effect. So I'm applying a little bit to the inner corner area of the eye and then a little bit on the outer corner, almost avoiding the center part of my eye. And I am applying this in a pretty lifted motion. So I'm gonna be blending this out towards my temples. I am gonna do one eye at a time just to ensure that this cream shadow blends out really nicely before it sets down, because once it sets down, it doesn't budge, but you still have a good amount of work time. And just take your time here until you're happy with the shape. This is gonna be kind of the map for the rest of the shadow. Okay, so now we have that roadmap for the shadow shape on the eyes. We're gonna go in with kind of the star of the show, which is the shimmer. This is by Half Magic. This is their Sparkle Stick Eye Crayon in the shade Beige Mystique. And this is a beautiful product, gorgeous formula, gives the most wet finish to the eyes. I'm applying this to the center of my lid and then just tapping that out to diffuse those edges. This blends super easily and it gives that exact effect as in the photos. I don't think camera does it justice, but it truly is so beautiful in person. I love these shadow sticks. And this color also is like bang on. And honestly, that's pretty much it for the top lid. I might go in with a bit more shadow later on if I feel like I need to add depth, but for looks like this, I tend to prefer to go in with less and add more later than to go in with too much, because you can really easily ruin a kind of no makeup, soft glam look with a touch too much. So that's kind of my advice when it comes to going for more of a natural makeup look. Always apply less than you think and add a little more later. But I'm gonna go in with a little bit of eyeliner. This one is by Flower Nose and this is a brown shade, a nice dark brown. This has the tiniest little tip. It is so easy to use, such an underrated eyeliner. And I'm just gonna be hugging this super close to my lash line. I'm gonna go in a fair amount of the way across my eyes and then give myself a little baby wing. Again, especially for this step, go in with less than you think. You do not want your eyeliner being super thick for this look. It's really gonna change the way the makeup looks at the end, so really try to apply less, and if you really need to add a little bit more, then you can. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of definition to the lower lash line as well, just to even everything out. I'm going in with my Makeup by Mario's Master Mattes Neutrals palette. I think I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. It's neutral, but slightly warmer of a neutral. And I'm going in with a really precise pencil brush. This is a Rougher 03 brush. It's one of the best pencil brushes I've ever used. And I'm gonna take this about 2/3, 3/4 of the way across my lower lash line, hugging it really close to my lower lashes. I don't want this to be too smoky looking. I definitely want this to be a bit more defined. And I'm almost like combining that lower lash line shade with my winged liner on top. I'm just smudging the very outermost corner of my eye and just like melting the lower lash line shadow with that winged liner we just did. It looks like she has a little bit of brown liner in her inner corner, so I'm gonna go in with my Prada Beauty Durable Gliding Eye Pencil in the shade Wood. This is a beautiful dark brown espresso color, and I'm just gonna pop that in my inner corner. I really like these because they don't bleed everywhere. They actually stay put, which is hard to find in a pencil liner. I usually don't really like the way this looks on me, but I'm staying true to the look. What do you guys think? Is the inner corner eyeliner something I can pull off? I just don't know. I just feel like it changes my face completely. But while I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and line my tight line as well, because I can still see a little bit of skin between my liner and my waterline. So I just wanna get rid of that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and run that liner in my waterline. So the eyes are pretty much complete except for lashes. So let's go ahead and do that now. Her lashes aren't like crazy, but I think she does have a couple lashes on the outer corner. So I'm gonna go in with these. These are by Fairy Lashes. They look like this. And I'm just gonna take, I think, a couple of the 10mm lashes and stick 1 or 2 on the outer corners of my lashes. I'm just gonna start with 1 on each outer corner and see how that looks. Okay, so keep in mind this is no mascara. I think that looks pretty good, but I'm debating putting an 8mm next to them. I think I'm gonna do it. Actually, no, I think I'm not gonna do it. I think less is more. I'm gonna just stay like this. But I'm gonna add some mascara. I'm going in with the Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara. I have been loving this mascara lately. It is so good. I'm not gonna apply it too much. I'm just gonna kinda blend my lashes with those falsies on the outer corner. Going for a pretty natural look because I think the focus is more on like the sparkles on the lid, so you don't want to go too heavy with the lash, but I mean you can do whatever you want. I'm going to put a little bit on the outer corner of my bottom lash line as well. All right, the eyes are done. I think they actually look really pretty. I think if I were to redo this makeup look, for me personally, I would opt out for the inner corner liner, but I don't know. Is it good? Is it bad? I really don't know. I overthink about these little details, I swear. Anyways, so I was experimenting with what I was gonna do for the lip before I filmed this video, and I just left it on. The lip liner I'm going in with is by Makeup Forever. This is their Wherever Walnut lip liner. It's like the best lip liner ever. I am just gonna go in on top a little bit and just define my Cupid's bow a little bit more than I already have. The lips in this look are super glossy, so I'm gonna layer these next two products together, and this creates the prettiest lip combo. I'm going in with the PatMcGrath Lip Fetish Divine Lip Shine in the shade Nude Venus. I've been loving this shade. I'm mainly applying this in the center of my lips. And then right on top, I'm going in with the glossiest lip gloss known to man. I'm a little biased, I did create it. This is my own brand, Cheris Cosmetics. This is our water gloss, and I'm applying that all over the lips pretty generously. This gives a very glass-like shine, and it really gives the lips this smooth effect as well. I have a lot of lines in my lips, and so I find this gives me that more plumped look without like a stinging feeling. It has a bit of a cooling sensation, like a refreshing glass of water on your lips, but the finished look is just insane. I think the effect is very similar to what we see in the pictures, just this very glossy, hydrated looking lip. Okay, so now for the highlight of the entire look, the glow, obviously. I'm gonna go in with this Dior Backstage Glow face palette in the shade Universal, and I'm gonna go in with this white shade here. It is perfect for this look. I'm going in with the Morphe M282 brush, and I'm basically just applying that all over my face. I'm being very generous with this. This gives a very pearly shine. It doesn't give a very like chunky, glittery look. It is just one of the prettiest highlighters I've ever used, and I love the white color. Oh, look how beautiful that glow is. It just really tied the whole look together, in my opinion. And now, right at the very end, I'm gonna go in with a little teeny tiny bit of powder. I'm going in with the Kosas Cloud Set powder. This powder is great because it doesn't fully mattify your face. It really does give you that cloud-like effect, but it doesn't gum up your makeup or make your face look heavy. I'm basically just applying this a little bit around my mouth and chin, a little bit under my eyes, and maybe a touch in the center of my forehead. Do you guys think my recreation looks pretty close to the look I was going for? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want me to recreate any other specific makeup looks, just like comment the links to the Pinterest posts and maybe I'll do more of these. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like me creating pictures of makeup, give this video a thumbs up so I know you like it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It only takes 2 seconds and it really helps me out so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.